and it looks like one of those giant squids, you know those deep sea squids? There we go, over here. Yeah, it's a deep sea squid. You know the terrifying ones that give you like a jump scare? It's just got the big long arms. Hey, welcome back. We are more unemployed, more plant and more guy than ever. This is part 2. We're working on maples today. They're my favourite tree. Last episode I threw rubbish in my coffee. I've gone and made a new coffee. That's the only thing that's changed. We've got two Japanese maples that are a bit further along in their development. This is a trident maple seedling. It's maybe 3 years old. It got absolutely smashed by caterpillars last year and lost a lot of tree over here. And then these are two Japanese maples. They're about 2 years old as well, seedlings. I would say these are maybe anywhere from 3 to 5. I'm going to throw you over my shoulder so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but today it is pretty much just a trim up, a repot. I have not looked at what's happening with the roots on any of these trees, so a lot of it will probably just be some root maintenance, likely putting them back in the same pot and giving them a bit of a start. So anyway, let's crack on. I've got options. I know which trees I've somewhat looked at in the past. Like these two and these two were slip potted in summer just because I knew that the pots they were in when I bought them were not going to survive the heat and no one was going to be around to water them enough. So I put them in bigger pots just so they had a bit more water available. I didn't look at the roots at all. I pretty much just pulled them out, put them straight in and disturbed the roots as little as I possibly could. Might work on them last just because I don't know, do I work on them first because I'm more into it, or do I work on them last and that will stop me from becoming complacent because I'm more interested in them? I think that's the option. Let's work on them last. So I'll pop them over here. You know what, I'm running out of space. I'll just put them back on the ground. Which leaves us with the trident, which was doing quite well. It was about this big, and then caterpillars. That's been in this pot for, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years, 3 years now maybe. 2022, 23, probably since late 2022, and we're now mid to late 2025. So about 2 and 3/4 years. You don't care, I don't know why I'm telling you. Trident maples grow insanely vigorously. They're actually the tree that I'm probably, for a maple, I mean, I treat my Japanese maples with a bit more care. I put them in specific positions. With the trident, I don't know, it's like an abandoned child. I just throw it out, it does its thing, it can't dodge caterpillars. Which leaves me with these two seedlings, which I think will be the easiest and quickest to work on. So I will work on them. This one here, I already know what I'm going to do. This has had a lovely bend in it, which was completely accidental. It just happened. I didn't do anything to get this. Good things happen to bad people. I'm probably just going to hack that back down there. We've got some competing interests. So what I might do is make this a very simple and boring bonsai and just remove everything bar the kink that I like. And I'll probably take off that bud that is about to sprout from the inner, I don't know if you can see it. There's a bud trying to sprout in here from the inner of the elbow. I'll probably remove that as well. So let's crack on. So pretty easy decisions. First up, we're getting rid of that. See ya. We're getting rid of that. This one off the back here. See ya. I'm going to take that out because I don't want it. And I'm going to take this out. Because I don't want it. And I'll clean this up just because, why not, I'm here. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming. Nah, it doesn't seem like there is much root happening in this pot, so there's more than I thought. Alright, let's see what we're working with. I'm going to be pretty gentle just because it is quite young, this tree, but I am going to try and work fast main goal here is just to get down to the surface, see what roots will influence our decisions, basically. This is a good time of year to be doing it for these trees. Some have shot early, so I can't work on them now. They just have to wait. Well, I could, but I don't want to. I mean, that's looking reasonable. Main thing I can see is just there is one quite dominant root growing off here. And honestly, that's probably all I'm going to take out. Everything else seems quite good. That one's a bit high, so I'll get rid of that. But like, that's gone, and I'll just nip that back to about there. So don't have to do too much about it. There is a really thick root going through here, which I believe must have been the taproot. So this guy, it goes from the bottom here, it goes through here, and then it wraps around and goes back underneath, and I don't know where it goes after that. It goes down. So that's a pretty hefty root by the looks of it. I did just take out a lot of... You know what, maybe I go down that far. I'm thinking maybe I go down and I meet that root down there. I think that could be the play. Which just means I'm taking off these like a caveman, just ripping them with my hands. So I'm going to take that back to there. I'll take off anything above that point. The thing is, there's a lot of like fine rooting above it, which is a bit sad to get rid of, but it'll be fine. It is a hefty boy, is the only thing. Like, I don't like how thick it is. I wish I could take it back to like that point, but I don't know if I can. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to take it back. I'll cut it at an angle. That way, that will hopefully promote some growth out. But apart from that, I think we're looking pretty good. Maybe just like clean up around here. This is all that's growing up, so I'll just get rid of that. That's doing something funny. But I'll just pack it back. Alright. Oh, that one's wrapping around and under, that's annoying. Anyway, that's literally way more than I thought I was going to do. We have a twig. So let's pot that up, and then that can go into intensive care. Alright, we got a pot, we got a twig, we have dirt. Put the dirt in the pot, put the pot in the plant. I put it over here. So the mix I'm using for this tree will be a bit different. There'll be a lot more sphagnum moss in it. Mostly just to support the fact that I've just cleaned it out of House and Home. Such is the nature of bonsai. It is very much it's a bit too much. It's a build for 2 years to burn it all down, at least in the initial phases. Again, I'm just going to try and mound this, and then as best I can get these going radially. Oh, God, that one's going as well. Sorry, tree. You might die. Oh well. Alright. Get that in. I'm not going to worry too much about position right now. I'm just going to put enough soil in to keep it in place. Now that's quite deep in the pot, but it's pretty stable. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Hopefully that one doesn't get as abused as this one, but you never know around here. You never know. So off the bat, this one has a, you know, again, it's another twig, but I mean, there's a lot of buds swelling, so I probably shouldn't be as aggressive on. Oh, I can be probably a bit more. It's more just which direction do I want the tree to go. So again, I think I'm going to leave a twig. I think what I'm going to do is probably just nip this one. I'm going to remove this one down here. I'm going to remove these buds here because I don't want them. There's a little bud growing here. You can kind of see it. I'm going to keep that. This one's getting trimmed back. That'll be a back branch. Nip this, and then this becomes the leader. Whoops. Nip this, and then this becomes the leader. Wait. Yeah. Hey, some contrast. I figured it out. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, again, whoops, over here. So that gets nipped there. That gets nipped there. That's all she wrote. So let's repot it. Now this one's been in this pot again, I think a year or two. I'm really not going to do too much. I'm really not going to do too much to these roots. Although it is glaringly obvious that there are three over here that are all competing. And it looks like one of those giant squids, you know those deep sea squids? There we go, over there. Yeah, it's a deep sea squid. You know the terrifying ones that give you like a jump scare? It's just got the big long arms. So we have a really thick one up top, which I'm probably not keeping, and then a thinner one down below, and then tap roots, but it doesn't really have much of a root system besides that. So I'm going to leave the tap root, and I'm going to delete some of its squiddy arms, just the two, the top and the bottom, and then I'll probably cut that back so that it's not a squiddy arm. So again, get rid of that, get rid of the bottom squiddy arm, maybe just hack that to flat, and again I'll hack that to flat, and once again we have a twig. Oh yeah, in all its glory. Look at that twig. Alright, let's throw it back in. It's going to be a pretty similar mix as last time, just because we've abused it, and honestly that twig nearly got confused with the roots and the rubbish in there, so it's not big. Throw it in, and then I think we will probably work on the trident maple. Come here, twig. I might just delete that for purposes of being neat and tidy. So I could nearly throw it. Oh, I could make it a twisted. What's going on here? So it tends to flow like that. So I could actually plant it like that and let it, yeah, that'll do. So what I'll do is try and push more in around the back side of the tree there to support it, and then push down there. And honestly, if I can get it leaned over a touch more, that would be cool. And there you go. Now, it would have been better to put that in a flatter, shallower pot. That way I can push it more to this side of the pot, and then you would have, you know, balance, right? Like the tree would be sitting over here and it would be growing back to the center of the pot. But I didn't think it through, and I'm lazy, so we've got this. Deal with it. Okay, for the final act, the piece de résistance, if you will. I've butchered that French accent. We're going to do this trident maple. I actually would like to put this trident maple into a proper bonsai pot when I'm done with it. As you can see, it is starting. We're maybe a little bit late, so I won't be too crazy on it, but we are starting to get just some little shoots coming out. So it's just fired Not as early as some of the other maples, but earlier than the other ones we've been working on. So, I mean, first things, get it out of the pot. We've got a lot of root growing underneath activity. So we will take it out. Oh yeah. It hasn't filled the pot with roots, but it really anchored down the bottom. See, look at this one big taproot that just went mental. And then I'm already seeing a lot, like these are new. This is new growth. We might have to be a bit more careful than I initially anticipated. But apart from that, surface roots, what do we got? We don't have too much to work with if I'm honest. Right, I think the plan here is probably just hack that back, give it a profile prune, get it in a pot, and then probably just take out some competing trunk lines through here. So, let's do that. Okay, so if I can get this flat, kind of, not insanely well. Initially, first thought, get rid of that. Maybe just nip off these bits at the end. And then we've got a reasonably flat tree with a thing here and it wanting to go that way. So I think we just repeat what I did with the last tree, or can I? See, that root there is really annoying. This big one here, because what I would prefer to do is almost have it like that in a pot, but maybe I just have to settle to have it like that. It's just tricky to put that in a pot is the only thing, because there's so much root weight over here, but your visual weight will be over here. So it's almost like I need it to get it to turn around. Like if I planted it like that in a sense, or yeah, that's really annoying. Rip. We're gonna have to take a lot off the top after that, I'm gonna say. How can we even like load that? Sit it there. I'm just gonna like clean this up more than anything. If I can. Yeah, whatever. It's all going. Alright, at least now we have a flat root ball. I'm gonna go find a pot and then we will pot this up. We have 3 contenders. That's 6, 3. There are pros and cons to each. Pro, this one already has wire mesh in the bottom. Con, there's crap still in it. Pros, this is a nicer pot. This is probably more fitting to the tree. They don't have any wire mesh in the bottom, and I don't know what I've done with wire mesh. So, depending on if it looks really good in this or this, I'll take the wire out of this. If it's, you know, dead heat, it's going in this. You can agree or disagree. You come and do the wire meshing. So, let's check it out. First thing, maybe we should give it a bit of an initial nip first. It's really sad to get rid of new shoots, especially on maples, just because I do love the colour on maples. It's why they're my favourite tree. I love that they come out really vibrant, they go dark green, and then as they lose their leaves, they create that colour again. Something to do with sugar, don't quote me. I'm going to take it back pretty short, take off the front. Competing interest here, probably go with the lower down one, nip that off, and then I'll just hack that back there. There's buds growing there. This one's growing through the middle, don't really want it. I'm going to nip that, and then that's going to go where are we? That's going to go more out that way, and I think that will fill that space, and then we've got stuff in here to decide on. I kind of like this. I'm just going to take it back. I'll take that back a little bit. I'm going to take this one at the back to there, just in case that dies back and kills off that side branch. There's one through the middle here I don't want. Clean up that a little bit. I have an ant on my foot. And then there's one on the back here which I'm hoping will shoot. Okay, so that's the basic idea of the tree. The next step is how do we want it. So with that in mind, we could nearly position it more central, left, maybe right center, left center of the pot. So like, yeah, that's good, but the pot's a little bit strong for it. This is probably better because it's going to make the roots spread out a bit more. It's a bit more, once it fills in, it's a bit more fitting of the style, but it's just a bit big. Again, it might just be a bit big. I'm going to go with the one that's already wired up because it is a bit of a dead heat. I actually thought this pot here, it would have looked really nice in. It was not to be. So give me a minute, I'm going to clean all this out. I'm going to go and get some, this is akadama, pumice and potting mix, all sifted at about 3-4 mil. I have another mix where it's akadama and pumice sifted and then potting mix unsifted. I just find that holds a bit more water for the climate, especially if I'm not around to water them so much. So I'm going to use that mix in this. Okay, we're back. Again, I want this to be like, if I move that there, I want this to be kind of center left. Maybe there, facing, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. This has kind of cross, you can see the holes on the bottom and on the top. I think what I'll do is I'll put wire through there, that way. There's a bit of a bulb on the root ball there. That little thicker bit, I can lock on that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say this is 2.5 or 3 mil wire here. I have more wire there. It's just I can't be bothered to get up and get it. So I will be gentle-ish, but ultimately it won't be too bad. Pop this down, slightly left center. Bulb to the front annoyingly, but I'm hoping over time that calms down. Get that in place. Okay, so hold it around the back and then bring that over the front. Stop trapping that root that is there. Might be able to move it a bit further back in the pot as well. And then from there it's just use this to tighten it up. So, pull, twist and pull. There we go. That's left center-ish. Kinda. Bit lower in the pot than I thought, but I did need to tighten it a bit more. So I probably could have just pulled it out, put more dirt in, but you know how things are around here. They're lazy. We're actually not lazy. We are just trying to get a lot done in a limited time that I have. To work on these trees. So, haters will say it's laziness. Now that isn't even really left center, but we should be fine. And then I'll just tuck that down in there. That's fine. Cool. And if I've got some sphagnum moss, I might just be able to chuck some on top. There we go. Perfect. Done. There's some roots sticking out the top. I don't know if I will be able to cover them. They're pretty much there now. Well, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. Part 3, I'm going to be working on this, which is a bit further along in development, and also this twin trunk maple that I have, which is about a similar, I guess it's the middle zone between these three at the front and this one here, and then beyond this is obviously a show ready tree, but this still has a few more years left in development yet, and these have several. I want this to be roughly the same. Anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like the video, and as always, stay unemployed.